Hello, everybody. I'm SJM. Welcome to a voiceover recording of the third attempt at recording the second half of the Sludgeon video. So I'm looking at the difficulty here, just explaining that when you start the pack, if you don't pay attention, and I didn't realize until I was about, halfway through, that the difficulty was already like on hard, which I'm a normal difficulty gamer. So that kind of explains a lot of instances where I was just taking tons and tons of damage. But just going over the mechanics on the sixth floor here, there's those pink mushrooms which make the green clouds on the ground, which give you a little bit of blindness. So that's the one thing to look out for. Of course, more tentacles than my favorite genre of anime, as I say there. And then there's also these yellow flowers with these little fire-like blooms. They don't actually do like damage, like fire damage, but what they do is make you drop the item you have equipped in your hotbar. So those things are super annoying. So this is just an annoying level more than it is dangerous. Like, yeah, sure, there's some tentacles, but they're not too bad. Just kind of knock you around a little bit and wear out your armor. It's more annoying than they are truly dangerous. So here we drop down to the seventh level, which is the true hell level, especially on the hard difficulty. In the first, two instances of trying to record to get down to the final level, I had 40, maybe 50 deaths trying to get past this section. So of course, more tentacles. We all love tentacles. But the big dangerous things down here are the little rat dudes. I don't know what their name is actually called, but they drop the ancient remnants, which we kind of need a few of those for doing crafting in the game, but these things hit like a truck, even like the basic non-armored ones, and then you'll come across ones with shields and weapons as well, like octane weapons that light you on fire. But in like on the hard difficulty, this encounter here guaranteed would have killed me. So I would have died again just right there, even though I'm, just steps away from my corpse. But this section here is all coming up to where there's a little bit of a back room area here. So you go up this ramp that I'm looking at there. There's a whole section in behind there with just tons and tons of these rats, little spawning holes that they come out of. So if you wanted to go farm up a bunch of ancient remnants, that's a place that you want to go. At this point, I had absolutely no interest in going back there. I died to those things so many times. I was completely frustrated. It was showing in the recordings that I had done, which is why I decided to re-record and re-record. And then this is the third re-recording. And then the audio, well, not the audio, but the voice got scuffed in the thing because in between there, I had actually done an in-place reinstall of my Windows because I was having troubles with other things. So that messed up my microphone, which I eventually had to uninstall and reinstall to get that working again in OBS. So this is why I'm recording a voiceover here of this. So we've got the door here to go up to to get down to the last level here, the boss fight. And our first encounter with that, this is going to be really painful as I go down there. So I'm going to actually speed this up to double speed because this is just going. So I was just looking at the ancient remnants there, which is used in a few crafting recipes, most notably the sensor. I think we talked about that in the last episode. Oh wait, no, this is level 7. This is not the Pit of Decay yet. So level 7 here, it's pretty basic. It's just got these moving walls. And then again, there are the little blooms that make you drop your gear, whatever you have in your main hand. Those things are in here as well. And then we'll see later on there's some other kind of entity that will pick up something that you dropped and steal it on you. They don't fight you back with it, but they do. It is annoying because you gotta, hit it. I had to hit it like 20 times to get my my sword back at one point. We'll see that here coming up in the future. But I skipped doing this whole floor because there isn't really much to it. There is just the moving walls, which you've got to kind of wait for them to go back and forth and figure out where you're going. Sometimes you can duck in behind the wall. And that's a better plan than waiting for the wall to go all the way forward and following it down. It just a little bit dependent on the situation and the layout there. So I just brought up the screeny I had of this last puzzle door so that I could finish it. And now we can get down to the pit of decay. You're definitely going to want a bow down here, and probably if you haven't done it before, 3, maybe 4 stacks of arrows. If you know what you're doing, then you don't need quite that many, but we're going to see in here I really have no idea what I'm doing, and I definitely had the wrong strategy. So there are the 4 laser beams coming out of the device there, which we need to disable and stop them, and then the device will lower down again. Now, we don't find out for a long time, or I don't figure it out for a long time here, but once you have completed the first cycle and lower down the platform a little bit, it goes right back up again. And this is ultimately the backbreaker for me, which I decided I had no interest in trying to complete the Sludgeon anymore after figuring that part out of it. Especially with jumping around on these upper levels. The other thing it's slightly annoying but understandable is that those turret things respawn. And then there's also these roots that come up and freeze you in place if you try and stand in one place and shoot too much. So you want to avoid doing that as much as possible as well. But as you can see, once we take out those turrets and we do a second lap, we'll see that they respawn again on the other side. So though that part was getting a little bit frustrating, although I can understand from a design standpoint why they did that in here. And then we'll go over on my second attempt at this for getting down there. So you can see that's coming back up again now. And I don't even realize it in the moment while I'm doing it, but it's right back up to where it started. So I have made 0 progress so far. And this is going to continue and continue and continue until I go through that 80 or so arrows that I did have in my inventory to start this. Getting frozen along the way, having to fight these turrets over and over again. And yeah, just, all the worms and the sludges and the slimes. It's quite the fight for sure. So I come down to this bottom level here just to try and take out some of these things with the AoE acid cloud, which works really good on the worms. So it's always a tension between having your offensive acid cloud and your healing acid cloud available to you, because at any time you could be taking a ton of damage and need the healing, and so you can't always just keep it on the damage. There are varieties of mobs that come out of that pit down there, which it's really hard to traverse through it too. It's like the sludge, right? If you get caught in that swirling mass in the middle there, it's like you can't move very fast at all through it. So this continues and continues and continues. I do go down into the sludge there for a second or two and find out how silly it is to try and move through that. So we stop doing that. But I do finally figure out that the place we want to be is on that lower level, shooting our bow up. And then we don't have to deal with these moving shields as much, because you can kind of poke up from underneath onto it there. The other thing that's probably going to be really good in here is the Ring of Ascent. The the one that lets you hover for experience. Because once you get that down the first level, maybe it's gonna hover you high enough so that you could hit the lenses with a melee weapon, and you'd be able to just do it really quickly from there, and you wouldn't be getting caught in the sludge because you're going to be hovering. So that's probably the plan there, to actually finish this fight and get to the stage 2. Because believe it or not, there's a stage 2 to this fight, as if this section wasn't hard enough. And then the stage 2 of this fight is another giant tentacle. So these designers, they love their tentacles, I guess. But I'm gonna run out of arrows in a minute here, and we're gonna be totally out of options. And eventually, I do have to head back to base, and then we'll go through the other reason why I'm either putting this on a. And I wonder if these burning altars have anything to do with the mechanics of the fight. I don't know if they are causing the platform to come back down or not. But here we are. I'm retreating now out of arrows, and gonna head back to base because my helmet is already gone. My chest plate's about to break. My legs are about to break. And my sword is halfway down, so it's probably a good time to retreat anyways, get some more arrows, and I do eventually decide to give this one more shot, which we'll see when we come back. But we've got to head to our base, and we'll go over, like I was hinting to a second ago, the secondary reason why I am giving up on this world. I'm not giving up on the pack because there's definitely lots of stuff to learn. I'd like to get back into Thaumcraft, which I've only in the past ever barely touched on. But we see that I've got this purple stuff encroaching on my base, and this has been spreading from the spirit tree ever since I killed it. Like, everything turned to the sludge biome, and then after the sludge biome, it started turning into this purple stuff, which is corruption, which I think is from Thaumcraft. I'm not 100% sure on it, but there's gives you a poison debuff and another debuff. I don't know exactly what they do. One hurts you a little bit, like a damage over time. But at this point now, it's come so far across that it's going to take over my base within, maybe 2-3 more hours of playtime. So at this point, there's no choice. I do have to move my base. And the other thing that pops out of all of that purple slime that's flowing all over the place is you get purple slimes, which that's super fun as well. I haven't had any of those hit me, but I know that from fighting against them, they can hurt you, even the little ones, like the magma slimes. But here we go. I've got this invisible entity that stole my sword here. And then I even dropped my axe after that. But finally it took like 6 or 7 whacks with the giant axe to kill that guy. Whatever it was mooing like a cow of some sort. Like if you've ever played the Twilight Forest, it sounds like the monsters in the labyrinth. The little cow things, minotaur things. So that's kind of funny, but we'll see here. I've got the plan. I know what I want to do. Go through or get down to the bottom level and shoot up underneath the shields to progress this, and then always keep moving. Like if you fail your first shot or two, move. Just if you miss or something, then just keep moving. You get it on your first shot, that's great, but if not, just keep going. So looks like we've got the hang of it here, but eventually I get the absolute worst enemy spawn possible, aside from a whole bunch of worms, which are annoying, and then one of these big sludge worms, which is super annoying. Thankfully we had the AoE to get rid of them. And back to the healing. While we do all that, we've completely reset all of our progress, and I get hit with infestation. And I snap at this point. Well, this is the third time I've snapped in the Sludgeon. So for now, we'll be putting this back. We'll be putting this down. Probably come back to this pack. I think once there is a completion, I don't think there's a way to actually like complete the pack and escape this area to go back to the overworld, so that you can bring all the survivors from the decaying overworld to this world. You know, overall, it's not, the Between Lands isn't too bad. Just that Sludgeon it really got to me. It broke me, to be honest. So I won't be continuing on with this world moving forward, but in the future, we can look. I do want to play this through again, maybe do a complete pacifist run. So instead of doing blood magic, we'll do Botania, because at least in Botania, when you get the Botania armor, you can repair it without having to get through that Sludgeon to get the Thaumcraft armor piece that you need to craft the sentient armor. So to maintain your living armor that we get in blood magic. Those are just my thoughts. I'm not 100% sure that's the exact route. Maybe there's better armor available in blood magic that negates the need for using the living / sentient armor. But yeah, that's going to be it for this one. Just a short one. Apologize for all those who were enjoying the series. I'm just not good enough to finish the Sludgeon, even on easy mode. Maybe when I do my playthrough in the future, I'll be putting it on peaceful mode just to get past this section of the pack, because it was that frustrating for me, especially, you know, like dying 40 or 50 times, even on the upper levels, like getting past the tongue guys that drag you all over the place. They can move you through walls, and they drop you in the stagnant water pools and all sorts of bad stuff. The little vacuum guys that hit your decay bar and make it go all the way down and leave you on like 3 hearts maximum. Well, just the combination of everything in that place just got to me so much. One of the things that I realized I did wrong was I had my bed right outside the front door. Maybe putting it back here near this menhir would be a better idea. If you get 128 or more blocks away, then you can despawn all of the entities that spawn while you're going through the various floors in there, and that way that'll make the subsequent corpse runs a little bit easier. Although still not totally easier, but it wouldn't be as ridiculous as what I was subjecting myself to. Or going down there was just more and more and more of all of the enemies every time I retried to go down after dying. That, and actually maybe not making my living armor so early, and using a freshly crafted suit of it to try the Sludgeon, because at the end there, obviously with the Sylvan armor, without the helmet, we've only got 6 suits of armor. Whereas with the living, we'd at least be all the way up, topped up, right? We'd have that extra % of damage reduction. That would help a lot, especially with the little rat dudes. Anyways, I'm going to wrap this one up here. I have been playing another pack, so there will be another LP coming in the very near future. Now that I've got my recording issues out of the way, that should get underway here soon, so we should be into that pretty much straight away here. And yeah, I appreciate you all for hanging in there with me. And we will see you in the next one.